Why are your parents looking into a reverse mortgage right now? Don't worry, it's not as scary as you might think it is. If you're a normal kid that I work with, I get a lot of kids referring their parents to me, but you're just concerned that your parents are going to be okay and that a reverse mortgage is going to do right by them. Most of the time, about 90% of the time, kids aren't really looking towards their inheritance or anything like that. They just want to make sure that mom and dad are going to be okay and that nothing's going to, the reverse mortgage isn't going to take advantage of them. And I can tell you it won't, but you probably don't have as much experience as I do in helping folks out with reverses. So my name's Jason Eichmiller, and since 2008, I've helped over 460 seniors learn about and get reverse mortgages. By the way, I'm standing on the top of this tower in the Wellington Environmental Preserve, and in a second I'm going to walk down and we're going to kind of explore a little bit on this video, but I think it's going to be pretty quick. So let's say, like, for example, I'm 42. I've done reverses for a few of my wife's family members, and in every case during that time I've spoken with their kids, and we've just gone over everything together. See, now we're going down. Say goodbye to the beautiful sights. Well, there'll be more pretty sights down there. But anyway, we've gone over absolutely everything, and I've done my best to explain, not just to the parents, because the parents are number one. They're the most important in this. But I've just also explained to the kids, like, hey, this is what this program is. This is what this program isn't. Our biggest, for the most part, when I'm working, when an adult child refers a parent to me, or normally like when your parents come to me, it's because, especially in this world with inflation as high as it is right now, they're coming to me because really they're having a tough time staying up at night. So we know that right now inflation is going crazy, interest rates are going up. We know that house values are surprisingly, they're still high. They've started to drop a little bit, but they're not that bad. But the concern that a lot of folks have is that, hey, I was doing okay. I was getting by before. I have to look down so I don't fall down the stairs and break this fancy phone. I was doing okay before, but now, the price of milk's more expensive. The price of gas is going up. Like, you get it. You're understanding. And if you're an adult child, you've got kids of your own, and you know what the grocery bill is, because I know what my grocery bill is, and it makes me sick. So when your parents, and think about that, that's us. We're working. We need to make money depending on the job. Like, I can work harder. I can try to close more loans, do more of these videos, and I'll be okay. But our parents are different. They're in a different position. So our folks, for the most part, they're on fixed income, or if they're in their 60s or early 70s, maybe they're working. But I don't know too many smart people who want to work until the day that they die. Doesn't really float too many people's boats, right? The average Social Security award, it is a whopping, well, with the COLA for 2023, it's going to be a whopping $1,827 a month. So let's say there's two of you, that's $1,827 for you and $1,827 for your spouse. Oh, look at these dudes. You guys are doing great.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So,
Are you a YouTuber?
Not really. Sure. So they asked if I'm a YouTuber. Like, nah. All right. So anyway, we know that Social Security's gone up a little bit, but that's not enough to afford your senior living expenses. Then let's say that you've got your assets, and this is a lot of the folks that I work with, a lot of the folks that come to me, they've planned well. They worked all their lives, they worked hard, they raised awesome families, right? They've saved up, they've invested, they've done everything right. Their investments now, they've been rocked by these rate increases. The stock market has been rocked, and it's been rocked for me too. And if you're an adult kid, it's hit you pretty hard as well. But we have time to not touch it, to not sell low, to let it build back up. And it'll be okay for us, theoretically, unless this is Armageddon, which I don't think it is. And historically, these things happen. But the problem is, and it's the same thing when I started doing reverses in 2008, I had folks who were in their 70s and 80s who came to me, and the same thing, the stock market was destroyed. It was so low, it was at the bottom, and they didn't have time to sit on their money and to wait for the market to rebound. They needed to take their money right then and there because, well, help them out with the reverses so they could kind of leave it alone. And that's a big point of this. What do you do when your investments are down and your real estate is high? See, back then in 2008 and 2009, the real estate market had already collapsed. So there was very little that folks could do as far as getting reverses to help them. But this is getting back to the point here. This is a unique world where your folks, they're having a tough time with their investments, right? It's dropped. Now, if they have to draw down on their investments while they're low, that's something called, it's kind of a financial planning vocabulary word, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, but it's something called sequence of return risk. And there's two levels to it, and then there's a super scary third level, which I'll go over real quick, and then we'll go back to the point here. But when the stock market drops, it's bad, right? No bueno, not a good thing. It's a little scary, especially again if you're older. Then, if you're taking, let's say you're over 70 and a half, you're taking your RMDs. So you're drawing down on that money while it's low. That's scarier. What keeps you up at night, though, is that if you have to take more than your RMDs, what if your RMDs are $3,200 a month, but to stay afloat, you need to take another $2,000. So you have to take $5,200 a month. That really keeps you up at night. That gets scary, especially, again, when the market's where it's at right now, and there's no magic crystal ball saying when it will recover. In fact, the magic crystal ball says, hey, guess what? The Fed's going to increase rates at their November meeting and their December meeting and probably into January as well. And what does that mean? Some of this stuff is baked in with stock prices, but a lot isn't. I would bet two things are going to happen. Interest rates are going to continue to go up, and stock and investment prices, markets are going to continue to drop, at least for the foreseeable future. So that's two levels, right? So you're taking your, well, almost three levels. The market's dropped, you're taking your RMDs, you're taking additional money because you have to be able to pay to live somehow. And again, $1,827 a month in Social Security isn't quite enough. But then, what if you get taxed on that money? Here's where it really gets scary. And I'm not a doom and gloom guy. I'm like the most positive. My kids will tell you I'm the most positive person they know. But this stuff is scary for a lot of my clients. And I'm 42. Again, I don't have to take money out. This isn't impact, besides seeing my investments drop, this isn't impacting me too hard. But it's the folks that I speak with every single day who are living this. They're living this fear because they're seeing their retirement disappear. And it gets really scary if you put yourself in your parents' shoes. They're in their 70s or 80s. They thought they had enough money to live retirement comfortably. Not to live like a lavish lifestyle or anything, but to live and to be okay. And then suddenly well, I guess not suddenly, over the past months, the market completely tanks. And they're looking at their expenses, and they're looking at their asset statements, and they're looking at the taxes if they've got taxes. And maybe it's their financial advisor gives them a call and says, hey, we've got to figure something out. The scariest thing in the world is getting a call from your financial advisor who is afraid for you, who's afraid that if you keep going the way you're going, and if the market doesn't drastically improve, you might be out of money before you're 6 feet under. That's a frightening thought. And it's true. I mean, it's kind of dramatic, but if your parents are in this situation, this is what they're thinking about. This is why they call me. This is what keeps them up at night. And so we think, okay, what can we do to help them? So if your folks are sitting, and again, this is why they're reaching out to me to look into a reverse mortgage. Now, I can't tell you if they qualify or not. We'd have to have a conversation and figure out, okay, well, this is how, if they owe anything on their house, how much their house is worth, how much they're drawing down. So basically we do a big old discovery just to figure out if a reverse mortgage, number one, is even an option, and number two, how much can it help them? If things stay the same, can they actually get back to good? Not perfect or anything. The only thing that's perfect in this world is Powerball, but I can't win it. I keep trying. But if we can get things better, then that's a good thing. But this is why they call me. They realize their investments are down. They're afraid. They're up at night. And at the same time, all these negatives, doom and gloom, right? Had enough of talking about doom and gloom. I'd rather be happy. So let's talk about the positives. Despite interest rates increasing, right now, depending on where you live, but for the most part, your home and your parents' home and my parents' home is worth drastically more than it was worth a few years ago. In fact, home equity for seniors and really for everyone, it's not at an all-time high. It was an all-time high a few months ago, but it's damn close to all-time highs. And with rates going up, okay, more doom and gloom. We know where home values are going to go. We know they're going to drop. It won't be like 2008 because there weren't really bad mortgages. There won't be that many foreclosures. But we know that values will drop, and I could explain why and go down that rabbit hole. But that's for another video. So let's talk about your folks. Ooh, let's check out this bridge real quick. This is a really cool part of the environmental preserve. We're going to walk over this in a second. We're going to look out for alligators. But this is a bridge that spans all the way across these little shallow ponds. And I actually, back last November, I ran a 10-mile race. And I think 4.5 miles of that was over this bridge, just kind of in this preserve and over the bridge. And it was really neat. Anyway, enough about that. I just thought you'd appreciate the nature. So when your home equity is at an all-time high, right? It's just about as high as it's ever been, besides a couple months ago. You have a way to help yourself. You have a way to protect yourself. And it's called using your home equity. And you could probably get where I'm coming from and you'll understand where I'm going. You're going to use your home equity to keep your money in your assets. In other words, when you draw down on your home equity when it's at an all-time high, think about this. When should you take from an asset? When should you sell it, or when should you withdraw from it? You should withdraw from your assets, or access your assets, or take your assets, whatever you want to say. You should do this when they're at high. And when should you buy? You should buy low, right? It's common sense. But what do most people do? Not that. They will FOMO, fear of missing out. They will FOMO buy when the market's high. I see it happen in real estate. I see it happening in investments. They'll buy high, and when it gets low, they'll panic sell. And they'll either sell because they're just afraid, or they'll sell because they're afraid and they have to take the money to live. So what if you can use your home equity, which again, you're going to access while it's high, and you use that home equity that you get while your value's high to stop your bleeding and to not take out of your investments when they're low. Seems like it makes sense. You tell me. Comment below if you think that makes sense. But that is the opposite of what the vast majority of the public does. That's what smart investors do. I'm not saying that you're an investor, not saying that your parents are investors, but this is how you are going to survive, or not you, I'm sorry, again, this is how your parents are going to survive this inflation. And is it just a recession, or is it going to turn into a depression? I don't know. No magic crystal balls. But we do know that with real estate values as high as they are, we are still able to give folks, and I know this because number one, I work on every single person who comes through me. I work hand in hand with them on the reverse mortgage. We understand everything about it before we jump into it, make sure that this is a good solution for them. And a lot of times I'm speaking with their kids and I'm speaking with their financial advisors or CPAs just to make sure to dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure that this is a solution that can actually help them. So anyway, long story short, this video has been long enough. The whole point is your parents have been thinking about a reverse mortgage for a reason. Normally it's because they're afraid that their money's going to run out before they do. So the nice thing is that we can still use, well, home equity is high. It'll be a different discussion if rates continue to go up and home values continue to drop. This reverse will get less powerful. But right now, it's a pretty neat tool that in a lot of cases, it's going to allow your folks to stay in their home. Again, not live in the lap of luxury, but I don't think you expect that. I don't think they expect that. But they'll be able to live in the home comfortably for the rest of their lives. Oh, and by the way, we don't get into not getting into this too much in this video, but one of your parents' concerns normally is they want to make sure that you're okay when they pass away. So just the mechanism real quick, and I'll let you go, is once your parents do pass away, the house will go to you or whoever they want it to go to, whoever they will it to, and you'll get it and you'll decide. You'll have an amount owed, X amount will be owed, and it'll be worth Y. And you'll decide, hey, I either want to keep the house or I want to sell it. If you want to keep it, just pay it off, refinance it. The bank's going to want their money back, so pay them off somehow. And it's normally they want their money back within about 6 months. If you don't want the house because you have your own house, your own kids, your own lives, but you could use a couple of dollars, you could use whatever's left over, then sell it. Whatever is owed gets paid back, and you get the rest. So anyway, that's all I got for you. If this resonates with you, and if you want to discuss your parents' situation, or if you're a senior and you've made it through this whole video, even though I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to your kids, but you still want to talk about how a reverse could work for you, feel free to reach out. My name again is Jason Eichmiller. I run this channel. I own Key Home Lending and Reverse Mortgage Reality. My phone number, it'll all be below, but I might as well tell you it. You can hear all the birds in the background over there. My phone number is area code 888-309-9705. My email address is jason@keyhomelending.com. And my website, if you just want to look at, well, really, it's if you want to just pick a time to chat, you go to www.reversequotes.com. Again, all that information is right there below. And if you want to see if this can work for you, how it can work for you, then feel free to give me a shout. No pressure at all. We'll just do a discovery call and kind of figure out what you got going on, and what this can do, if anything. All right, take care. I'm almost done my my nature walk anyway, so back to the office. And take care. Have a wonderful day.